Now, from Southwest Florida's news leader, this is Wink News at 11.
Now on the Wink News Nightbeat, a plane crashes in Collier County.
Looks bad. Looks real bad.
How people nearby describe the scary moments.
Heavy rains and winds whipped through Southwest Florida, washing away parts of our coast. What the weak storm impacts mean for Fort Myers Beach.
Plus, hundreds of thousands of federal workers are on standby almost a day into a partial government shutdown. How this can affect you.
All right, Zach, thank you. A plane goes down in Collier County. Here is what's left of it after it hit a fence and sent one person to the hospital. The wreck happened at Everglades Boulevard and 32nd Southeast. It's in rural estates near Alligator Alley. The Nightbeat's Gina Tomlinson has new details tonight. She's live from the scene. Gina.
Well, what's left of
investigating.
A minivan crashes into a CVS pharmacy in Lee County. Now investigators say it is part of a burglary. It happened right here near the corner of Daniels Parkway and Treeline Avenue. That's just east of the interstate. Our crews were there this morning when a van seemed to have backed into the store, shattering the glass door. Deputies were on scene with a canine. Luckily, the store was closed, so no one inside at the time was there. And one of the survivors of the Parkland school shooting is Harvard-bound. David Hogg made the announcement this morning on Twitter. He plans to major in political science. Hogg survived the shooting at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, which killed 17 people. Since then, he's been a vocal proponent of gun regulation and one of the founding members of Never Again MSD. And the special presidential envoy for the global coalition to counter ISIS has resigned. A senior administration official says Brett McGurk quit because of President Trump's decision to... All right, thank you, Zach. And just into the newsroom, a tsunami in Indonesia killed at least 43 people and injured about 600. You can check out the action right here. Indonesian authorities say it's possibly resulted from an underwater landslide after a volcano eruption and a tidal wave from the full moon. And just take a look at all the damage and devastation. Crews are still assessing the affected areas and looking for survivors. They say the death toll will... And the woman known around the world as Miss Seuss has passed away. Audrey Geisel, the widow of Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss, died in San Diego at the age of 97. Audrey Geisel died peacefully in her home Wednesday, leaving behind an incredible legacy. The Grinch may have stolen their Christmas presents, but one Lee County detective is making sure 3 children have a happy holiday. This grandmother, Ava, recently was the victim of a home burglary. They took all of their gifts. So the lead detective in the case got her 3 grandchildren new bikes and a $150 gift. Wall Street saw its worst week in a decade, with the NASDAQ officially in a bear market or period of falling stock prices for the first time since the Great Recession. The Nightbeat's Christina Alici has more.
A brutal week in the market. The Dow and the S&P now on track for their...
And meanwhile, President Trump is reportedly considering replacing the Fed Reserve chairman. 2 people familiar with the matter say he's asking advisors about whether he has a legal authority to fire Jerome Powell. He says they say the president is angry at the market downturn. President Trump's advisors told him he probably would not have the law behind him. Economic advisors warned the president that firing Powell would likely only cause more market turmoil. A daring escape for 2 men from prison. 2 police dogs were the ones to find the inmates. Officials say Brandon Long and Paul Napier bolted from a prison in Kentucky with the help of a getaway driver. At points, deputies chased them 100 miles per hour. A driver in a white pickup truck tries to help, but it wasn't until stop sticks were deployed. And Texas authorities say they have both a photo and a video showing the difficult moments before a 2-year-old died in a hot car. Police found the images on a cell phone left in the car with the child. Now both parents are facing charges. The Nightbeat's Joel Isenbaum breaks down the new evidence.
Outside this humble home, it appears this beautiful 2-year-old girl, Alicia Esquivel, just before she died, tried desperately to save herself using her parents.
The girl's parents face up to 20 years in prison if convicted.
A warning now about fake Uber and Lyft drivers. A woman in Nashville says she was out with her friends when she requested a ride. She says the driver had a Lyft sticker and...
A New York man finds a purse on a subway platform with $10,000 inside. The Nightbeat's Naeed Dhaliwal explains why people are so shocked by what he did next.
You feel good when you do the right thing.
Richard Taverna's eye.
You know, that extraordinary.
Well, the NYPD thinks so. They called Taverna what he did a Christmas miracle. They're now trying to reach the woman who lost that money.
Wink News, the Weather Authority.
Temperatures are already...
And the holiday season is a time for family and friends, and not so surprisingly, with all the parties and dinners, it's also a time for expanding waistlines. But that doesn't have to be the case. Wink News anchor Andrea Henderson has tips if you want to maintain your weight going into the new year.
The average person packs on 1 to 2 pounds during the holidays, so here's a few tricks to avoid that.
Well, here in Southwest Florida, more than 400 children will now have a happier holiday season. It's all thanks to this, the Toys and Tales Christmas Toy Drive.
It's beautiful just to see the smile on the kids.
All right, let's get a final look at weather tonight.
We start cold for tomorrow morning, back in the 40s, 47 degrees in town, colder to the north and inland. Also in the upper 40s for your Monday, Christmas Eve, looking very nice. And Christmas Day afternoon, back in the upper 70s, so back above average as well. The warmer air returns. And I know some of you missed the 80s. Luckily, they return at the end of the work week.
Yeah, you know, it always bounces back. That's the thing about Florida.
We
get a little
Just give it a
chill.
day or two, and then things go back up. You can return to the beach or go to the beach.
A lot of visitors here wanting that. So,
yeah, that's for sure.
All right, well, thanks so much for joining us. We hope you have a great rest of your day and a great start to your Sunday morning.